2017, a year of several exciting debuts and a touching farewell.
It looks like you're about to cry.
I am about to cry.
City Source is taking a look back at the biggest and most memorable stories of 2017. See the new events in Irving and the developments setting the stage for years ahead.
Outside of being married and my 2 kids being born, this is the most special thing for me.
Plus, we are reliving some of the fun moments that made us all smile.
It's so much fun!
This is City Source, the best of 2017. Hello and welcome to this hour-long special edition of City Source. I'm Thomas Gandy. We are going to revisit some of our favorite stories in just a couple of minutes. But first, 2017 was a year of really major events in Irving, so we are starting with a countdown of the biggest 5 stories in our view. Starting the countdown at number 5, Irving says goodbye to the Byron Nelson. The golf tournament that brought huge crowds to the city since 1983 is moving to Dallas. The final year featured a lot of people sharing memories and gratitude.
We can't thank the city of Irving enough. They've been a continual supporter of ours for a long, long time. It means more than we can ever express or they'll ever know.
Over 100,000 lives transformed through the work that happens at the Momentous Institute. And it's because of partnerships like Irving.
At number 4, a big year for the Irving Fire Department. A new fire training facility opened in partnership with Grand Prairie. Weeks later, a new station opened to serve a growing area of the city. And the department added 2 new trucks that help firefighters better respond on narrow streets and at skyscrapers. At number 3, leaders break ground on the Westin Hotel at the Irving Convention Center. It could be complete in 2019.
So excited to get to this day. We have lists of people that have told us, as soon as you get the hotel, we'll consider you.
At number 2, as Hurricane Harvey battered the Texas Gulf Coast, Irving opened a shelter at Lively Point Youth Center to help victims and their pets bust in from the area's hardest hit. The huge undertaking involved many city departments.
It's a big team effort to be able to pull off an operation like this.
It's been a wonderful effort by the city to take care of these people.
And topping the list of the biggest stories of 2017, the opening of the Toyota Music Factory. It comes after years of discussion about what to do with the land near the convention center. The concert pavilion opened first, followed by a few restaurants.
That's great. It's what we always thought would happen once we got this started.
And as we know, the next generation workforce is truly looking to be in that it place. Well, that it place is Irving, Texas.
Many more openings at the Music Factory are planned for 2018. And that's your countdown of the biggest stories of 2017 in Irving. So that's the countdown, and a few other big stories just missed making that list. Jeff Spivey was sworn in as Irving's new police chief, continuing in the department where he got his start. The city kicked off its Road to the Future initiative. In response to residents' complaints, $100 million over 5 years will go toward improving road conditions. Now let's go a little more in depth. You heard me mention that 2017 was big for the Irving Fire Department, and here's one of the reasons why. A ribbon cutting inside a classroom and ignition of some of the first flames inside a tower. 2 ways to celebrate a debut for 2 cities.
This is an awesome adventure, number 1, between the city of Irving and the city of Grand Prairie.
This is Irving and Grand Prairie's new joint fire training facility.
We're celebrating a great day in the Irving Fire Department history as well as Grand Prairie.
Irving's previous fire training tower is from the late 1960s. Irving voters approved funding for a new training facility years ago, but it took a while to get it going.
Construction prices go up and they outgrow what your funding is, and so we got creative.
The 2 cities split the construction cost and will split the cost of operation.
Being able to have a joint venture with the city of Grand Prairie to help share the cost, to help share operations, is a great way to partner with cities to help save taxpayer dollars.
So it's going to be huge for both the city of Grand Prairie and Irving. And on top of that, we will learn to work as cities together.
The major feature in this building is a classroom.
We've been assured by all our designers that this is a fireman-proof facility.
Then the other big building is the burn tower. Every floor represents a different challenge firefighters could face in the city. At this opening event, visitors got an idea of the flames that are controlled by this simulator.
This allows us to do is just be very creative, do it in a safe manner, and fight very realistic, highly pressurized fires.
The first floor also offers access to a 5-story elevator shaft.
And what this allows our technical rescue team to do is to do either grain silo simulation or elevator shaft rescues.
Then moving upstairs.
This is a breaching door that our crews can come up, whether by ladder or by fire escape, and they can actually train on their breaching of the door to enter a facility.
We continue our way up the tower and reach the top.
The best part of all this is the penthouse view.
For all that you can see from this point, there are some features you cannot, because they are underground. Under that area are facilities for confined space and trench rescue. And looking back up, you can see dual combat stairs.
This is definitely going to increase safety, not only for our residents, but most importantly for our firefighters. This facility was built for them.
To underscore the potential danger of the job, the city's named the streets on this campus for fallen firefighters.
And it's only appropriate and only fitting to remember those who have passed in the line of duty. We need to recognize them and not forget them as we move forward with our training.
Moving forward with facilities that are helping the city earn a special designation. ISO 1 from the Insurance Services Office can mean lower rates.
And with us being a 1, it entices more corporate to move into our city, which keeps taxes reduced for our citizens that live here.
All benefits to the new Joint Fire Training Facility.
We have the ability to make sure that our residents or businesses are safe. We want to make sure that our firefighters have the best training facilities and the best opportunities to practice and learn by experience. And that's what it's all about.
And the debuts kept coming for the fire department. Just weeks later, we covered this.
Put your back into it, come on!
It's a powerful push using more than firefighters' force.
In high heels? Hey!
People attending the opening of Irving's new Fire Station 12 may not have expected to be put to work.
You got your workout in?
I did. I got a good workout.
This pushback is part of a tradition in the fire service going back to the 1800s.
When a new piece of apparatus was delivered back in the horse-drawn days, the old pumper would wet it down. They would disconnect the horses and push it back into the station.
Here, everyone is invited to get involved. It's all part of the celebration of the opening of Irving's new Fire Station 12 on Regent Boulevard. Longtime Irving residents Reggie and Nancy Robinson are celebrating their 60th anniversary at this event.
Well, we're going out tonight, so we thought we'd get an early start. The day's longer that way.
They have witnessed all the growth in the northern parts of the city that leaders talked about.
In the past 25 years, the population in this area has grown by over 420%.
Having this station close by gives them peace of mind.
Just 3 years ago, we sold our house and moved to McCarthy Hills Senior Living.
We have a lot of people that fall, and I think they'll be right on duty to come pick us up. And I told them to stop by any time, even if they don't have to pick us up.
The city of Irving has been working to enhance fire protection in this booming area.
It's one of our fastest growing areas with what's being done in Valley Ranch and Hackberry and North Las Colinas.
I've always said, the good news is 80% of Irving was within the 8-minute response time for a fire. The bad news is 20% was up here. As of today, we'll be within that response time.
In just the last 24 months, just for the fire services alone, we have added over $13 million in capital and ongoing improvements just for the fire services alone. And we are not done yet.
Some of that investment went to pay for this huge tiller that will be housed at Station 12. It's one of 2 the city purchased.
Awesome, really big.
Gotta have these things in place. It's very important, saving lives.
It is so huge and so good, and especially my son, he is ambitious to be a firefighter.
And there is still more ceremony to show you before all of this gear goes to work. Along with the hose down and that pushback, residents help wipe down the vehicles.
It's so great at supporting the community and then everyone coming together and just having fun and supporting our firefighters.
It's amazing to have a fire station. We live in the neighborhood in Hackberry, and it's like super awesome to have it here.
With the vehicles again shining, next comes the flag presentation and raising. Moments later, official word comes over the speaker that Irving Fire Station 12 is open. The firefighters are ready to respond to calls, encouraged by all of the support they've gotten on this day.
And for the community to turn out like this to see their station, it's incredible.
We have both of those complete ceremonies with all of the special speakers on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/the City of Irving. From facilities making their debut to one getting a reintroduction. The North Lake Natatorium reopened after extensive improvements and updates. It will be the location of a lot of aquatics classes and programs, one of which we learned about just before the center closed for renovations. It's called Swim Safe. These students are getting lessons they can really dive into. This is Swim Safe, a program of the Irving Independent School District and the City of Irving.
It's fun and I like it because we get to learn how to swim better.
I think it's really fun and everyone likes swimming.
You can see these students from Brandenburg Elementary are having fun, but the reason behind these lessons is serious.
We found in the last couple of years that the kids in our district don't have the opportunity to learn how to swim. A high percentage really are not getting into the pools and learning those essential water safety skills.
Sadly, they know what can happen when students do not learn how to swim.
We've seen tragedy at some of our Irving apartment complexes.
3 other children who drowned in Irving were laid to rest earlier tonight.
What we have realized is that our kids are finding pools regardless of whether they've learned to swim or not. So to avoid that in the future, we're really making a big effort to reach out.
If we ever were in a problem, we could help each other or we could get an adult to help us.
Over 9 days, the students focus on lessons of life jacket use, self-rescue, and safe swimming practices.
Will you show me your best front line? There it is.
It starts with an assessment of skills. Instructors get an idea of swimming experience and then divide the students into groups.
The kids start off penguins.
I'm going to do it. Okay. I'll be brave.
They are scared of the water. They don't really know how to float.
There you go. You got it.
The second station is Nemo's. That is where they're not afraid of the water. They kind of know how to swim.
We're doing the dolphins course and we're teaching them how to properly use a life jacket. We just taught them how to jump with the life jacket.
In the smaller groups, we watch the different lessons. Sometimes there is fear to overcome.
There's some things that you can do with kids to help them get over that fear. We start with just getting their ears wet and their chin wet. And that's the big thing, is the face in the water that they're so scared of. Eventually, they're going underwater and they're having such a good time.
It's really incredible to see how much they've learned over the course of the week and how they themselves now know how to float on their back. They know how to swim instead of doggy paddling. They know the rules of the pool and how to be safe.
Good job. So repeat after me again. Reach or throw. Don't go.
Feels really good, being able to teach kids how to swim and, prevent them from drowning in the future.
Those instructors work for the school district. The City of Irving provides the lifeguards and facilities. In the fall, the students come here to Lee Park.
Keep practicing.
Other times of the year, they use the North Lake Aquatic Center. This was the final class before the North Lake Aquatic Center closed for renovations. It was also Family Day. And proud parents came out to see what their children are learning.
I'm so proud of him because he can do things that he couldn't do before, and I'm so excited.
Rosemary Lazo is filling her phone with shots of her son Asher and also sharing something about herself.
I don't know how to swim. And for me, he knows how to swim. That means a lot. I was afraid that I will not able to help, but now he can do it. And that means I need to learn.
Right now, the program is targeting second graders in 11 Irving schools. The goal is for it to spread across the district's elementary schools. Consuelo Pignon has reason to hope it grows.
I have a little one to worry about. Hopefully in a couple of years he'll be in it too.
For now, she's thrilled to watch how her daughter has progressed with
that confidence in herself that she's not going to drown inside the water, that she'll be okay. That she knows how to swim, she knows what to do.
It helps with their self-esteem, their confidence. They're learning new things. It helps even with
with their focus in school and their behavior.
Beyond building that confidence and developing potentially life-saving skills, organizers hope that all of these classes at Irving pools also show the kids that swimming can also be fun and a healthy hobby. From there, we move on to some of the top business stories. Pioneer Natural Resources broke ground on its new headquarters that will be part of the Verizon Hidden Ridge development. It will be located on the former ranch of Las Colinas visionary Ben Carpenter. Healthcare product distribution company McKesson opened a campus in Irving. At the opening, execs talked of hiring 1,000 people. And Irving is pursuing Amazon's HQ2, a massive project which could bring 50,000 jobs. But our favorite business story of 2017 involved a very tall NBA All-Star. He opened Drive Nation in Irving, where young amateur athletes can refine their skills. With the finishing touches underway outside, it's time for a celebration inside. This is the grand opening of Drive Nation, a massive amateur sports training facility on DFW Airport property in the city of Irving.
I'm looking forward to creating the greatest amateur brand on earth.
Six-time NBA All-Star Jermaine O'Neal owns Drive Nation. For him, this opening is the realization of his longtime dream.
Our focus got to be laser sharp.
He wants to help young athletes realize their dreams.
I'm going to take you over here to the weight room because that's what sets the table.
He took us on a tour to see the features.
So that was our push and pull. This is our speed and agility. We wanted to really make sure that the kids had everything possible to excel.
And that includes technology. Some is from a company called Athos.
Basically wearable tights that tells everything about the kid's body. Muscle output, most importantly. It'll show real time on these screens what the kids are doing.
Then looking over the large court.
We'll have over 90 cameras and sensors. We have analytic sensors that breaks down what the kids are doing.
There is also a turf field for football and soccer. For post-workout, hydrotherapy.
It helps the kids recover faster. So this is Chef Robert and Chef Shelley, masterminds behind the kitchen.
All of those features are already leading to a lot of business.
We are booked out every weekend until September 1st of 18. Already.
Drive Nation expects to have more than 650,000 visitors in its first year. And Irving expects to see a positive impact from that.
It's a great opportunity for us to have this type of facility here in Irving. We're so fortunate that Jermaine made the decision to be here.
Where this facility is located on the south end of the airport, it really becomes a good demand driver for our hotels that are on the south side. So the 183 corridor of hotels really stand to gain a lot from this attraction being here.
There hasn't been a whole lot of draw for weekend business here in Irving and the Las Colinas area for many years. Now with this facility bringing in tournaments, I think it's going to have a really great impact.
It also goes to show what kind of great relationship the airport has with the city. We really partnered up to bring this into this location. Drive Nation and the uses that are going to be here are going to be tremendous for the airport, for the city, and for the whole North Texas region.
I enjoy being able to get in here and tell people exactly what we're trying to do.
For Jermaine O'Neal, yes, this is his business, but he says it's always about much more than that.
But this is something that's going to impact people's lives. We want to be the most dominant amateur brand, not only in Texas, but in the country.
Your personal philosophy is so much a part of this.
It is really the DNA of what we've built here.
He has stayed involved throughout construction, and now that it's complete, he is most proud of the personal touches, the quotes he selected for the walls, the pictures of his children, and overall support of his family and others closest to him.
Well, when he grew up, he didn't have this. And what he's doing, this is his vision to make sure kids have this opportunity he didn't have.
This building represents, to me, everything that I went through. All the challenges, all the help, all the people that had hands in on me being able to sit here and have this conversation with you right now. I want to emulate what that was to me and give back to kids.
Irving ISD athletes are practicing here on this opening day. Some might even join or come back for camps or tournaments.
If they come here, they get the training they need, they'll have that film to be able to send to different colleges to hopefully get a scholarship.
The ultimate goal for Drive Nation is using kids' talent to get to school. That's our end game. That's our winning ratio. How many kids can we put in college?
Making that impact is part of what prompts Jermaine O'Neal to call this the biggest day of his career, topping all of his NBA success.
I feel very privileged and honored. Now for us, we got to follow through on everything.
Some other athletes really showed off their drive and determination at the Special Olympics basketball tournament hosted at 2 Irving Rec Centers. City Source reporter Angela Lang has that story.
I have a passion for the game, and I love to exercise and run. I just love to stay in shape.
It is that time of the year for Chris Custer and his teammates to lace up their basketball shoes again. For Chris, this will be his 22nd season playing on Irving's Special Olympics basketball team.
It feels great. The energy level is great. The intensity is great, and I thrive on all of that.
The energy was turned all the way up for this first event of the season, an annual Irving tradition at Lively Park Youth Center and Center Park Recreation Center.
This is the Irving Basketball Classic for 2017. It's a yearly Special Olympics tournament for basketball for Area 10. 2
Irving teams played in this year's tournament, and the city played host to another 35 teams from across the area.
You can be any age to participate, and there's no upper ceiling. We have athletes in their 40s, other teams have athletes in their 50s and 60s. It just gives them something to do, something to play.
I just love to show people out there that us with intellectual disabilities can accomplish anything and everything that other people without intellectual disabilities can do.
Chris is a role model for younger Irving players like Brianna Gibson, who joined the team last season. She plays for the lower level team that also won a gold medal.
We played against competitive teams, and they were really good, and we won.
You won?
Yes.
You just kind of looked, we won, you won.
It was really nice because you get a chance to see the excitement in everyone's eyes.
Number 1. You want to wrestle? Woo! And while competition is important to these athletes, there is way more to this event than the final score.
This is truly for the love of the game. Some of the scores are 6-0, and every time a basket gets made, the whole building erupts. The kids love it, the parents love it. It's just fun to be around.
Angela Lang for City Source.
And stick around to see the fun way Irving students and police support Special Olympics. That's coming up later. Let's stay with sports for a moment and look back on the final year of the AT&T Byron Nelson in Irving. All around the course at the AT&T Byron Nelson, many fans
I wish it would stay here.
And top athletes
it's very bittersweet.
Are talking about how this is the tournament's final year at the Four Seasons in Irving.
A little piece of my heart is always going to stay here.
The Byron moves to Dallas next year, but for this week, it's all about the tributes.
The theme of this year is very simple. Celebrate a fantastic partnership with the community of Irving and the Four Seasons.
That word came at the tournament's opening ceremony. It also featured a surprise for the widow of the tournament's namesake and its biggest ambassador.
It is our honor now to present you with a key to the city.
Oh my goodness, how cool is that? I'm trying to keep it together, you know. It's going to be a great finale, and it's going to be a lot of fun and maybe some smiles and tears at the same time, I think, for a lot of people, including me. The tournament and the Red Pants may be leaving after this tournament, but my heart will always be here. I've got 34 years.
Some volunteers have been here since the beginning in Irving. Tournament organizers honored them at this reception that was also a time to catch up with fellow workers who became longtime friends.
Oh, I'm so nostalgic about this. This has been such an important part of my life.
Employees who have put in decades are also getting recognized. That includes a lot of Irving's first responders.
We've seen that thing grow from when I started back in 1987 to where it is today, and it's going to be missed.
Tom Cleghorn works on tournament traffic plans.
You know, when I first started with the city 31 years ago, it was just a job. Then as I've grown into this position, you know, I realized the magnitude we have, and hopefully in a small way we're helping them out as much as we can.
We all have hearts to want kids to have a future, and that's what this is all about for all of us. That's why we're here.
There's so many stories.
And now that the tournament is moving, people are more willing to share those stories. Buck Raines remembers 1983.
Well, the first year, we really rushed to get this thing open. The course wasn't ready, and we painted it. We painted it green so it would look good on TV. And then, of course, the pros would say, hey, the balls are green. So we had a lot of laughs just trying to make it all work.
You can see the greens have come a long way since those days. With tournament play underway on the course, the Irving Convention and Visitors Bureau is having fun with fans on Champions Way. This is Irving Live.
We've got unique Irving attractions within our area that we're promoting to people out here.
The attractions this year focus on music over sports. While the pro golf event is leaving, the Irving Music Factory, with its concert pavilion, is set to open later this year.
This is our chance to tell the other stories of Irving.
I'm actually excited. I didn't know that the pavilion was so amazing.
So this is the last year, and we are sad about that. We are celebrating in a way because there's about to be a boom in Irving, and it's going to be musical.
Spin it to win it.
They are also promoting the Texas Musicians Museum and the Irving Arts Center.
So we have our commemorative shirts that are going fast.
Free swag goes to people interacting with the Convention and Visitors Bureau on social media. The goal is to spread the word of what is happening in the city and build excitement. So this is where people pose in the Irving frame.
Yes, this is our farewell frame.
People who take pictures here can have them printed out, and then they can place them on this board. It does not look like much now, but watch what happens in this time lapse. A mosaic is taking shape. It takes the entire tournament to fill it up and reveal what will be a commemoration of this final tournament in Irving, a tournament that is wrapping up.
Bittersweet is the best word. It's just, I feel like an empty nest parent, I think, that I know this is good for the tournament and it's good for their success, long-term sponsor. That means more money for the kids and the programs that they do.
Over its years in Irving, the tournament has raised more than $150 million for the school and therapy programs of Momentous Institute.
The money's great, but it's what we've been able to do with it. 100,000 kids and families served. Think about that. Everybody in the city of Irving, the Four Seasons, and the Salesmanship Club, and our volunteers have made that happen. Makes us feel very good to be out here.
The real thing that sticks in my mind through all this is what the salesmanship do for the kids. I mean, the opportunity to work with young people and change their lives and give them opportunities. That's what this is all about.
Irving Mayor Rick Stouffer invited former mayors to take part in the closing ceremony, but it's not time for that just yet. This year's Byron is heading for a playoff, giving the tournament a little bit of extra time in the city.
We hate to see it leave, we don't know how we're going to feel next year.
With that, Billy Horschel came out on top, and it's soon time for the trophy presentation.
To the city of Irving, the Four Seasons, thank you all for 35 amazing years.
And everybody here, you're going to be part of our golf family when we move to Southern Dallas.
Very emotional right now. They'll be a part of my heart forever.
It looks like you're about to cry.
I am about to cry. This is sad. This has been a big part of my career.
It's been a great run.
So we're going to miss it.
On behalf of everyone here, a fond farewell, best of luck. We love you guys.
From 1983 all the way to 2017, and now this final farewell on the fairway.
We've done a good job, and we're sending them off with the best of intentions and wishing them much success.
While that big event left the Four Seasons, another one made its debut, and it also benefits Momentous Institute. Check out the Park Place Luxury and Supercar Showcase. All that power and all that prestige, all those sounds and all that shine are ready for people to experience. This is the Park Place Luxury and Supercar Showcase at the Four Seasons Resort in Irving.
I love old cars, I love new cars, sporty cars, I like them all. I'm a car guy.
People come here with a lot of questions. The most common?
How fast does it go?
For this 2017 Bugatti Chiron,
the car is electronically limited at 261 miles per hour. It reaches 250 in about 32 seconds.
We wanted to know about the price. This Bugatti is just shy of $3 million. But what about this one?
This is a 57 Bugatti Atalanta. It's one of 3 in the world.
How much do you think it costs?
Over $2 million.
8.
I am really not a car person. That is amazing. It's beautiful.
Over by this 2014 Bugatti Veyron, we found an expert. How much do you think it costs?
Brand new, I think it would cost about $3 to $4 million.
He's right. Noah Cellini is here celebrating something special. He's a huge car fan.
I'm more into the speed of the car than anything else.
Actually, this is kind of one of his surprise birthday presents.
I just turned 10 on Tuesday.
His goal is to one day restore cars with his father. But for now, he's learning all he can and teaching the rest of us.
You can actually see the wheel that it's like carbon fiber because of the weave in it.
Here at the Four Seasons, people are getting an up-close experience with these cars.
We can have stuff roped off, but it's a lot more fun to sit in and rev the engine than just to look at, right?
They get pictures to share on social media and a chance to dream a little bit.
I just kind of walk by and just go and look at my Christmas list and take pictures, Facebook them to my wife and say, maybe for Christmas, and she just laughs and says no.
We thought we'd come out here and see what was going on.
These members of New Mount Zion Baptist Church dressed up to share in the good life.
Oh, you said it. That's exactly the best of this event.
While for a lot of folks, these cars are not likely to make it in their own garages.
If I could break it down, the payment.
Park Place reports people are buying.
Well, the luxury car market has been really booming for the last several years, and I always think we're coming to the end of the boom, but so far it continues.
This supercar showcase celebrates the 30th anniversary of Park Place.
It was a way that we could thank our customers.
And it's raising money for Momentous Institute, the same charity that benefits from the ATT Byron Nelson. The Irving Convention and Visitors Bureau and Chamber of Commerce are here offering souvenir pictures with a message.
Irving rocks, that's exactly right. We're giving away tickets to Harry Styles at the Music Factory. Just really promoting the fact that it's open now and all the good things that are coming with that development.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is a 1932 Auburn 8100A.
It belongs to Maria Hamrick, and she still drives it sometimes. What kind of responses do you get? What do people tell you when they see you on this?
Oh, they just go crazy, just goes like that.
And the horn works.
It's a lot of fun to have something that is unique that nobody else has.
Mark Connor's Shelby GT500 is the recognition of a teenage dream.
I wanted the Shelby back in the 60s, and that was kind of out of my range at that point in time. But 20 years or so later, I was able to pick one up.
And these young people are also making their goals reality.
Every bolt and nut that was turned on this truck was done by students. And this is what it looked like when we first got it.
The restoration is part of their coursework in Grand Prairie. Preparation for careers.
A lot of the students that helped build this truck are now gainfully employed with the Park Place Motor Group.
From job options, classic collections, and dream rides, a lot of these people are finding there's always something new to discover.
I've never seen one in my life before, but I'm very excited to see it.
If you love cars, there's something here for you.
Yeah, we had a great time out there, and the Park Place Luxury and Supercar Showcase returns to the Four Seasons on October 6th, 2018. Another visually compelling event drew on the architecture of the Irving Convention Center and the talents of local artists. Meet the Urban Sketchers.
Welcome to Urban Sketchers. We are a group of sketchers, a group of artists. We meet once in a month. We find a location which excites us and we draw. By profession, I'm a computer engineer, but I love drawing.
The motto of Urban Sketchers is reporting our world one sketch at a time.
It's an international organization, so there's other groups meeting all over the world.
It's a beautiful place. It's architecture-wise, it's amazing.
In terms of the architecture, getting perspective and proportions right is a challenge. And in terms of the people that I'm seeing and kind of trying to get in my sketches as well, they're moving, they're on the move.
I like the structure of these stairs. If we all had the same subject, you would have a dozen different views and takes on it. Some are fairly abstract, some are very detailed.
I mean, the way I draw, the way I perceive the things is different than somebody else does it. So when I meet with different people, I end up learning new techniques, new perspective.
The architecture drew us to this building, but sometimes we'll go to a farmer's market or go to a historical site.
If you're young and you want to come join, that's okay. If you're a retiree and you've got lots of time on your hands, you're welcome as well, and there'll be people just like you here.
Anybody who's interested in art, who thinks they want to learn, they want to draw, whatever the level is, doesn't matter, an amateur, doesn't matter a professional.
And there are no rules, and nobody puts any pressure on you, and you don't have to like somebody else's, they don't have to like yours, you just do it.
I think that's part of the beauty of art is that you can look at the same thing and everybody kind of has their own spin on it and sees it in a little different way.
It's just a matter to be kind of free and creative and do what you like to do with other people that have the same interest.
It's neat, it's interesting, you get to meet new people, and it's exciting.
We draw live from location.
And the Irving Convention Center was one location used for a statewide parks conference that Irving hosted. We found members of TRAPS all over the city.
They're the competitions you probably never knew existed.
There's a backpack blower competition,
The truck and trailer.
irrigation assembly.
I was in a nail driving competition.
The people taking part here at the Irving Soccer Complex
Competitors from all over the state.
are the best at what they do.
They qualify at regionals and they get an opportunity to come and compete here at the state level.
This is an obstacle course that participants navigate on a riding lawnmower. But where do they practice these skills?
These guys do this every day, and that's why they reach this level of the state rodeos, because they do it over and over.
The competitors all work for city parks departments, and they are here in Irving taking on these challenges as part of the annual Institute for TRAPS, or the Texas Recreation and Park Society. Irving is hosting it this year.
We all try to do the best we can.
Check out this backhoe competition.
Pretty much got to be pretty gentle with it.
Imagine the precision it must take to pick up 3 kettlebells and put them down in just the right spots.
Coordination and low experience helps.
With awards and bragging rights on the line, there are some friendly rivalries.
I would like to say no, but yes. You always want to beat your fellow cities.
It's more about the rivalries, trying to get that overall city trophy, take it back to our director.
The headquarters for the TRAPS Expo are here, the Irving Convention Center.
So right over here, we've actually got a restroom company. We've also got some fun playground equipment over there.
Jasmine Lee has that perfect vantage point from the top of a play structure, standing in the middle of a park, built in the exhibit hall just for this event.
And this park was actually built on site in a matter of hours by our Parks and Recreation Department, along with the assistance of a few of our favorite vendors.
We've got a new product out called the Expression Swing.
The vendors are looking for customers. The owner of Total Recreation Products says this is his hottest item.
The mother or the parent can actually swing with their child across from them and make eye contact. We have actually not been able to make them quick enough.
Betty Arnett's business is helping cities, including Irving, get in the holiday spirit.
All these little towns that you go through and you see those little Santas and Christmas trees on light poles, somebody's got to do it, so we like to do that.
Like kids at Christmas time, people checking out the exhibit hall are making their wish lists for their cities.
My purchase card would not have enough room on it to buy all the things that I've seen so far.
I've been looking at some pool product things, some rec lighting things. That's one of the hottest things that I've seen that's been going on right now is the transition to the LED lighting.
And for those large-scale projects such as new buildings, Half Associates is using virtual reality.
You actually get in there and you can experience the project. You can see it, you can move around in it, especially council members, elected officials, folks that are decision makers. It's a great tool for them.
That's pretty cool, man.
TRAPS also features classes here at the Convention Center and across Irving. Our crew went along on a tour of the Campion Trail for city parks directors, trail planners, and others.
They were impressed with everything. The width of the trail, the condition of it, because it's been under flooding for months. They liked all the pavilions and the architecture that we've done.
Tour goers asked a lot of questions, and they may be able to take what they learn back to their own cities.
It feels great to do that, and something that makes you proud to show that, and people were interested.
It's the kind of networking and knowledge brought out at all of the week's events.
The great thing about the Institute is it kind of shows the diversity of parks and recreation.
The park employees do a lot. They do anything and everything under the sun.
It's a profession celebrated and an institute capped off with fireworks at the Convention Center, all meant to create another lasting memory of their time in Irving.
I think we've pulled off a really good event.
And while talking Parks and Rec, several Irving parks saw upgrades in 2017. Here are some of them. New plaques depicting historical moments in the city's history are now in place at Centennial Park. Crews installed new exercise equipment at Sunrise Park, and there's a new playground at Center Park. Along with those improvements, we're also previewing what's ahead. Here's a look at ideas for Heritage Park.
We came out here, shot pictures.
These photos capturing one of the biggest days of Robert Garza's life were taken in Irving's Heritage Park.
It became our wedding background. It was beautiful.
And on this day, Robert Garza is back in the park, this time with a group of volunteers from Calvary Church.
We're gonna make it look nice, make them love it when they walk in here.
They are working with Keep Irving Beautiful to paint the inside of Irving's original library building, now used as multi-purpose space.
It's going great.
We're actually kind of powering through it, which is awesome.
And while some here have memories from the past to share,
I grew up here in Irving. I grew up coming out to parties here as a kid.
They are all helping the area get ready for the future. This park, with its features that stand tribute to Irving's history, could have big years ahead. Under ideas developed by the city's capital improvement team, this park would be reimagined, doubling in size and moving into this space.
You have a lot more space to work with now.
Yes, we do. We just have just under 3 acres. It's really going to allow us to expand Parks and Recreation programming.
Just about everything would be in a new location here. Even this monument marking the 1986 dedication. Let's go back.
It all took place at the dedication of Irving's newest centerpiece, Heritage Park. While a German band played polka music, the crowd was able to enjoy the newly landscaped park with its green grass and shady grape arbors. This was a day for remembering America's history, as well as the history of Irving.
The city continues to host special events here. Now, move ahead. This is what created that additional space. The city bought the former downtown post office building and neighboring structures to get this land. Now there is room to spread out. Under the current proposal, this space would remain open for events.
In addition to just having open space, we're going to have an amphitheater.
No time to explain what I mean.
It could host the city's summer concert series, which is now hosted on a mobile stage. The depot building and caboose, symbolizing Irving's transportation routes, would move to a higher profile location on the park's border.
And as you can see, it's been boarded up and it needs some restoration work. So our goal is we're going to relocate it to Hastings Street, give it lots of visibility, lighting at night. The tracks are going to be replaced with paving that's going to look like railroad tracks. So they're going to get the effect of the railroad, but it's going to be much safer.
And that original library building would shift angles and move to the corner of Main and 3rd Streets.
And it's actually going to be the anchor for an area we're calling the Garden Terrace.
That terrace is envisioned as a spot for weddings or even daily lunches. A place for food trucks to park is planned nearby.
We actually would like to expand the park about halfway into 3rd Street.
Amid all the change, the Castor Cabin would actually stay in its current location, with enhancements around it.
We want to give it identity. And the one idea we had to do that was to create a little plaza right here where I'm standing, something we'd call Pioneer Plaza. And around this plaza, we'd have monuments, and they would commemorate all of the original founders who lived in this area. We took all the comments that everyone had.
The capital improvement team and Parks Department presented the ideas and gathered public input, most recently during this meeting at the South Irving Library.
We've been residents of the Heritage District all of our lives, and we're interested in what's going on in the area.
I like what you've done quite a bit. Appreciate your efforts.
For all of the enthusiasm about the improvements, it is important to point out that they are not yet final or even funded.
The interesting thing about this project is we actually started it without a budget. When the property was expanded, we were approached by senior staff, city manager's office, and said, hey, we want to see a design for this park.
The process that we're using with Heritage Park and that we're going to be using with a number of other parks is to go out to the residents and ask, what are you looking for? What's important for you? And let's design around that. And then as we have the dollars that come in, we can apply those dollars to the plans that they have created and they have identified that will be the amenities that they're looking for.
I think we've come up with a neat project that the residents have been enthusiastic about. Hopefully we can move forward with it.
Residents had a chance to learn about what goes into creating those amenities and providing all services for Irving residents. They were part of the first ever Irving 360 Civic Academy.
Early on a Saturday morning, some Irving residents are at the Hunter Farrell landfill, learning about what happens to what we throw away. The brush grinding, the trash compacting, and more. They're also getting some hands-on experience throwing weighted bags in the back of a collection truck, simulating what employees do daily.
Now you imagine this, it's 1,000 pounds. Sometimes. 1,000 times.
It's amazing how heavy it was in doing that every day. I can't imagine that.
The residents check out the truck's cab and even hop on back.
So I can't imagine
bumping and moving, I would probably fall off.
So kind of eye-opening for you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I've never been to a landfill before, so coming here, seeing them firsthand and see the work they are doing is really interesting.
They are all part of a first-time program offered by the city called the Irving 360 Civic Academy.
We wanted to get citizens involved. We wanted to get engaged. We wanted to let them know what we do here at the city.
And that blade starts moving forward.
This visit to the landfill is only one of 10 weekly experiences for the participants. It started here at the study with an introduction to city government.
There are so many things going on in the city right now.
And then it gets right into the range of duties employees have.
We collect and preserve the history of this city.
Short section like this.
On Public Safety Night, participants got ready to aim a fire hose.
I wasn't expecting to actually get to try out one of the fire hoses. Really cool to see what the firefighters deal with in a physical way.
It's been like a lot of information that I didn't know, the difference between like a fire truck and an engine.
The idea for Irving 360 came from a city employee.
And one of the big pushes that our city manager had was the innovation in the city. We wanted to come up with new ideas, new approaches, ways to deliver that positive and meaningful impact.
We're starting to tag hydrants now, GPS them.
At first, organizers were not sure how much interest there would be, but they were blown away by the response. Nearly 150 people applied. Organizers selected participants that reflect the diversity of the city, different backgrounds, different neighborhoods, both very new.
I'm kind of starting from zero.
And longtime residents are all part of this.
I've lived here over 20 years. I had no idea. Should I be admitting that?
But now you know.
But now I know, yes.
Don Cano.
Near the end of the 10-week program, leaders recognized participants at a city council meeting.
It's just been a wonderful experience to be able to come together with citizens from all over Irving and for all of us together learn about the inner workings of the city.
When it brushes on your side, where's that needle going?
They learned and experienced a lot, and now they can put it into use.
To have them engaged in what we do on a day in and day out basis, it makes them better consumers of our services, makes them much more educated, makes them little champions for us throughout the community.
I've already started going out there talking about the things that we have available to us as a city, and people go, wow, we do? I said, yes.
What's that program called?
It's our Kids Arts.
While the course comes to an end after this tour of the Irving Arts Center, their involvement does not have to. The program is geared to prepare them for a next step.
In the future, I want to be able to be a volunteer on one of the city council groups, and I believe that this type of training is going to get my foot in the door.
And I feel like after this program, I'll be able to go out and speak to different things that are going on in the city and become an ambassador.
I do go out into the community, and now this has armed me to be better informed so that I can better inform the community.
Over the 10 weeks, the range of equipment they have seen,
these are all fire hydrant parts here,
and the staggering stats they've learned can be a lot to think about.
In the summer, you can see demands all the way up to 70 million gallons per day.
But as they find out that there are people taking care of all of those services that many of them used to take for granted,
I stay busy with sewers.
They feel empowered by the knowledge they have gained.
I've always been proud to be an Irving citizen, but now I think I'm even more proud, and I can't wait to boast, and I can't wait to tell people different stories about things I learned.
A full view of city services in Irving 360.
Organizers expect to offer the Irving 360 Civic Academy again in 2018. Look for updates on how to sign up on the city website. From here on out, it's all about fun. Canine Companions for Independence in Irving is teaching some residents how to help develop dogs that can help others. We went to the campus and found puppy class in session.
It's time for puppy class.
Welcome, come on in.
Eager students are arriving at Canine Companions for Independence for today's lessons. The puppies are in training to be assistance dogs. The people...
These are our volunteer puppy raisers, and so they get an 8-week-old puppy and keep them for a year and a half, and during that time they come to classes and lay a foundation. Anytime you hear the word good, you know that you're on the right path.
Part of the class involves teaching the volunteers. Here they are trying to figure out what people mean with one-word commands.
Good, good, good.
It's an exercise that can help teach them how to better communicate with the dogs.
They have no clue what you want them to do. They're just following your cues and listening for your verbal praise.
That communication is important because the volunteers are responsible for teaching the puppies 30 commands before they get advanced training with a professional.
This is Albie, and he is almost
Kelly Harrell is raising her first puppy.
I didn't really know what to expect, but it's been really nice to see some success. You know, you do a lot of work and then you see a puppy learn something.
Okay, so Vincent is what we would call, are you showing off for the camera?
One of the big challenges here could be keeping puppies focused. After all, it is school.
Puppy class is usually the hardest place for them to maintain control because they get to come here and see all their friends.
I mean, it's sort of like, imagine going in the funnest place and then you have to mind your P's and Q's.
And sometimes your dog's going to be the best in class, and other days your dog's going to be the absolute worst in class. And that's just how it is.
They all bring personality. You can see that some are eager and some that need a motivational nudge.
Here she is. Very good.
Canine Companions is looking for more volunteers to raise puppies. It just added these new daytime classes for puppy raisers.
We have a lot of puppies on their way to Texas that are looking for volunteers to raise them. And it's a really great way to volunteer and be able to really make a difference in somebody else's life. Yeah, I love that you stopped when she got unfocused.
Like any class, this one comes with homework.
She's a slow chewer. It is a big commitment. It's a lot of time and energy. You know, it's basically a full-time new creature in your life. It's kind of like having a toddler that you're constantly teaching and potty training and teaching new commands to.
But there's also recess. Enjoy a moment of puppy playtime. But the hardest part comes when the games and all the lessons are done.
I know. I thought it wouldn't be that bad, but now I'm starting to think it might be a little harder than I thought.
As we saw at a graduation ceremony we covered last year, it gets emotional as the puppy raisers hand off the dogs they bonded with to the people who need them.
When we go into this, everybody says, how can you give these dogs up? And indeed, it's difficult. I say we cry a whole bunch on those days. But you know that going in, that indeed you're raising this dog to help someone.
But I guess that's really what you want them to do is try, teach them, and then maybe they soar and hopefully they help somebody who needs it.
In the meantime, they are enjoying the lessons and the experience of being a puppy raiser.
He's been a real joy, by all means, but they all are.
We have children, and it's been nice to teach them that sometimes being part of charity or giving things is more than, like donating soup cans. It can be something real.
They hope to make a difference in someone's life. With a four-legged friend, they're helping to give a good start. From there, we moved to Lake Carolyn, where some people got to try out the sport of water blading. It's never been seen before on Irving's Lake Carolyn and the Mandalay Canal. Water blading.
It's our first demo for water blading. It's a new water sport. It's a balancing act without a paddle.
No paddle, but there is a motor. The inventor says the idea for the water blade came from trying to achieve the impossible.
Originally, I was trying to do something to walk on water.
For experienced riders, it looks like they are walking on water. For the newbies,
I figured I'd come out and give it a shot.
You can see it takes some time to get the hang of it.
The whole point is to relax your body and bounce with the water.
It's a little tricky, but once you get on and once you balance it, then it's easy.
There are different models of water blades that can accommodate people of different weights. There's even one made for dogs.
The pub ride, we create that because many people, they have a small dog they carry around.
Stand-Up Paddle North Texas already offers recreation on Lake Carolyn Tuesday through Sunday all summer long.
We offer paddleboarding, we do sunset tours, we do canal waterfalls.
Now it's considering adding the water blades to its collection. People say riding on the water can be the best way to take in the view.
It's a really picturesque place to paddle.
It's got a lot of big, beautiful buildings coming up and should have a lot of good stuff for the future down here.
And while taking in the view, water bladers also get a workout.
When I did the stand-up paddleboard, I noticed that I exercise only my upper body.
Stand-up paddle is a core exercise. This is going to be lower extremities all the way.
Exercise and an exciting experience on Irving's Lake Carolyn.
Oh, that was some amazing water blading.
And that was one of our camera guys. You saw going in the water there. He's okay. Find out about current recreational opportunities on Lake Carolyn at the website on your screen. It's supntx.com. Finally today, it's always one of my favorite stories to cover each year. It features a lot of fun and a lot of dancing. It gets a little hectic to keep up with everyone, but we do our best. Check out the Penny Run to raise money for Special Olympics.
We're raising money for Texas Special Olympics.
We're doing the penny drive.
We partnered with the elementary and middle schools.
We're just going by the different schools picking up the money.
It's very exciting, like seeing everyone get together and help out a good cause.
Hey! We've had a lot of special fundraisers. We taped the principal to the wall. Mr. Nickerson got to spend all day in a turkey outfit.
You were in a turkey suit?
Yes, sir, that's correct. Students raised the most money for the principal. They wanted to wear the turkey costume. So in the end, I was the winner, but when I had to wear the turkey suit, I was the loser.
Raise some money for the Penny Run.
It's great. Look, the kids are having a great time. We're having a great time.
I see them dancing and having a lot of fun with the rest of the students.
So cool to see them do this for the community and come out and get everybody excited about it and give back.
Oh, this is a four-peat, and we were driven to make sure that we continued the winning streak.
Gosh, look at this.
Oh, look here. We got a couple of hundreds, 20s, $1 bills, 2 buckets of change, 3 buckets of change.
How did they raise the money?
We did penny drives. We also had a lemonade war this year.
We bought shirts, like the blue shirts you see around here.
Sold pickles after school.
Some of them had chips. They were selling chips.
We've done all kinds of things.
This is getting loud.
I think it really connects the kids with the police in a very positive way.
We got it back to blue. Always back to blue. They are wonderful.
It's so much fun.
And we have Special Olympics here on our campus.
We let all the classes know what the collection was for, and then in the cafeteria during each lunch we had some students go around with these little silver buckets and they collected.
It's awesome, the kids enjoy it, and just to have support from our community is an awesome thing.
How does it feel to be a part of this?
It's great. I actually grew up in Irving. Nimitz was the high school I graduated from. It means a lot.
It's good to just kind of let loose just a little bit and come out here and just enjoy good company.
Just definitely want to help with the Special Olympics. We actually had the teachers compete against each other, grade levels competing against each other. So we raised over $1,300.
And they were excited about raising so much money for Special Olympics. They love having the police come and support them.
They're definitely involved with the community, helping out with the community, and being part of this for the kids really love it.
That's a great role model for them right there. I am a dancer, a teacher slash.
Without them, this wouldn't be possible.
Just seeing the kids and their smile on their face when we come by is great.
We have been working very hard to raise awareness for Special Olympics and the good things that they are doing.
We did it through just a fun drive in the cafeteria. The kids love Officer Pollard, and he just took his change bucket every day, and all those pennies add up.
The kids are real generous.
The reason we do this job is for the community and especially for the kids.
Every year it's amazing. This is our 4th year doing it, and the smiles on the kids' face, they love it.
Yeah, great time out there with the kids. Police also hold Tip a Cop events and Car Hop at Sonic to raise money for Special Olympics. Email us your thoughts on our stories. The address is ictn@cityofirving.org. We may read some of your messages here on the show, or you can always comment on our videos at youtube.com/thecityofirving. And how about subscribing to our channel while you're there? And that's it for this special edition of City Source. Thanks for watching. Make it a great 2018.